Hello there, good looking. Yes, you with the screen in front of you. Welcome to Backseat Broadcasting. I'm your host, Eric Elkins. We are at race 2 here of our first week, doing it at Long Beach. Doing one for the ladies this evening. Who am I kidding? They're all for the ladies. We're doing GTEs and GT4s this evening. Wrapping up our second race at Long Beach. The guys just got about 5 more minutes of practice before we get into that customary 10 minutes of solo qualifying. We have a great large field on track for you at the moment, which I'm very excited. This is the leader in the GT4 class, a new driver for us, Matthew Smotherman. Thank you very much for joining us, Matt. It's good to see all these new names out on track. Getting some great lobbies up in here. Let's take a look at what we're working with thus far. Now it, as you can see, it's showing the GT class, the GTE class on there, but it does not have the GT4 class for us at the moment. We'll see if we can't get that up on the screen for you, and I do apologize if there are some frame rate drops at the moment. We seem to have a couple issues with the software. I apologize about that as well, but we got lots of good racing to come your way, most certainly. Well, that is not it. That is the time difference between the fastest GTE and the fastest GT4. Who are our leaders? That's Lincoln Russell and Matthew Smotherman, who we are currently, we were riding on board with just a moment ago. This is John Miller, second place in the GTE class. Oh, we still have the music running this evening. Let's get these track noises up for us here. That's what we're into. That's what we are after. Again, that's John Miller. In second place we are with at the moment. Lincoln not on track. Third fastest in practice. Here's Craig Ream. We're in the final 2 minutes of qualifying. Check out that race info at the moment. And I do apologize that things are metric in here. We are trying to get the point standings up for this season and have had to rebuild my entire software setup 3 times in order to make 3 different nights of racing. So things are a little bit different you might see this evening, so please bear with us while we figure all this out. But we do have that 10-minute solo qualifying coming with a 40-minute race just after it, with a 50% fuel limit, a new addition to our midweek races that will mandate a pit stop. That will also be carried over for Thursday night, so we will have that 2 nights this week. Very excited about all the pit stops necessary. We should see these guys start to come in about 25 to 35 minutes into this 40-minute race. So into the final 30 seconds of qualifying, we're watching Craig Ream come across the line here. And that is it for our practice session. We're going to get right into this 10 minutes of our qualifying. Again, for anybody who has not checked it out yet, Apex Race League has a new website. You can check it out, apexthis.racing. It has links to all of our sponsors. They're giving discounts to everybody in the league and associated with the league, so please go check them out if you have the time. Here we see Steven Martinez heading out of the pits. You can also find all of our race and track information, our season schedule there as well. Speaking of which, let's take a quick peek at that season schedule. We're Long Beach this week. We are heading to the Netherlands next week for Zandvoort, and then back down to Texas for many of these guys' home race just after Christmas. And Steven comes down to turn one to start his first hot lap out here. This is Mason Smotherman, who is riding the exact same paint as I believe his brother must be, Matthew. This is going to get very confusing for us. But good to see some family connections out there on track. It looks like he's just rounding around to start his first hot lap. Crossing the start-finish line there. He does not get turn one right, though. It goes very deep in it. Manages to stay out of the wall, though, so keep his car in one piece and keep those tires fresh and hot. Dustin Burkhalter comes across the line first. He's got a 116 under his belt, 0.6. He's easily, or not easily, barely beat by Lincoln Russell, who pushes him down to second. Bjorn comes across the line with a 117.7 to be third. Returns to the pit lane, while Michael Kulliga comes in for a 117.738. Tyler Pierre Richards goes just about 10th faster than these guys. Slot into first. Ooh, Dustin hitting the wall there. Not going to get a good run out of this lap. Matthew does come across the line first to register with a 126.0. You would imagine he might get another half a second or so off of that lap time. And they're coming in thick and fast as Corey takes third place with 116.6. It's really packed in there with the mid 116s. Brian Zinn second across the line for the GT4s with a 130.1. Roman Bykov does a 128.4, and then Mason Smotherman does a 133.2. Lincoln Russell pushes everybody down with a 116.283. Craig Ream slips into second position with a 116.3. John Miller goes faster for himself, doing a 116.360. Michael McCoy is 7th fastest with a 1:16.8. It is just so tight in there with this new track. Richard Swindell's jumping up to 8th, but then Steven Martinez immediately takes it away from him. Troy Banks on the board, good enough for 12th at the moment. Vincent Wood hopping himself up to the 9th place, getting into the top 10, starting with the 1:17s there. Oh, as he outbreaks himself for another hot lap. There's still 5 minutes on the board. He can back that up and save those tires and try to make it. There's Tyler Pierre Richards getting extremely wide in that Porsche. Did not slow it down. Good enough for that. Corey Mitchell on pole position, dipping into the 1:15s. 0.9, very, very fast lap. He's about 3/10 up on everybody, almost 4/10 up on everybody else. Lincoln Russell. Matthew Smotherman does do better. He's almost into the 124s. With a just flying lap. The closest is 1.6 behind him, and that's Jacob Eating. Sorry, Jacob, you will have to contact me as well and let me know how to pronounce your name correctly. And everybody not really able to beat their lap times out there. Corey's still on pole position by 3/10. Here's Lincoln Russell. Oh, but I do not have the sectors lined up for him. So we will not be able to see how this lap is going for him. John Miller does better, though, and hops up to 2nd place, pushing Lincoln Russell down. Third and 4th place for the GT4 is currently in the pit. Roman Bykoff and Brian Zinn. Jacob crosses the line, goes a little bit faster, only by a few tenths though. Not able to put Matthew under any sort of pressure. And a lot of white lap times out there as this grid starts to take place and these guys really start to push themselves in the later laps. It looks like there are some mistakes and angry tires already. Eric Kulliga, just as I say that, takes his Ford GT across the line. Good enough for 13th position here at Long Beach. And we have 2 minutes on the clock to put in some times. Sheldon giving up on that lap at the moment. Ooh, and Michael Bond just hitting the wall, pushing himself out there. Kent Kruger currently occupying 6th place in the GTEs. Our GTE champion from last season, only good enough for 6th at the moment, Adam Baltudis. Oh, goodness, that's not the line you want to take in sort of the risk of playing with those curbs there. I believe this is an outlap for Roman, so I don't think he will get to complete another hot lap if I'm not mistaken. He needs to make up 7/10 on his first times set in order to put that front row under any sort of pressure. Into the final minute, we saw a lot of guys scraping doors here. And he has hit almost every apex he could. Michael McCoy still on track, good enough for 8th at the moment. And you can just see with the interval times there, just, what is that? Dustin is just 7/1000ths behind Kent Kruger there. Michael getting a little loose. And that is it for our qualifying session. Let's take a quick peek at our race grid here as the shadows freak out at us. That's my favorite when they do that. On pole position, we got Corey Mitchell just storming away, followed by John Miller, who is able to join him on the front of the grid. Lincoln Russell lines up next to Craig Ream. Very, very fast row 2 there, followed by Tyler P.R. Richards and Kent Kruger on row 3. Dustin Burkhalter and Michael McCoy. Then we got Steven Martinez and Vincent Wood repping out the top 10. Richard Swindells, Adam Baltudis line up behind them, followed by Stephen Liston, Eric Culliga, Michael Culliga, Troy Banks, Bjorn Benchison 17th, Sheldon Rosenbaum, Joseph Mayer, Michael Bond, I believe, is the last car that was able to qualify. Beyond that, we have Paul Simmons Ochoa, Kenneth Mueller, Val Asensio, Michael Johnson, Ryan Matthews, Philip Craddock, Ben Meeks, and James Dean. And if I ever get the championship standings going, it will be brought to you by James Dean, who has been helping me set that up this week. Thank you very much, James. In the GT4 class, pole position was smothered by Matthew Smotherman, followed by Jacob Eating, Roman Bykoff, Brian Zinn, Ryan Walsh, Mason Smotherman, and then the guys who did not set a time, Andrew Rasmussen, Federico Del Toro, and Mark Bray out there as well. So we will see if those runners end up gridding with us here. Does not look like we're going to do a full lap out here. We're coming on, this is the back straight here, end of the back straight. What a lovely long list of racers we have out there this evening. Oh, making a little contact as we make our way through this very tight hairpin. Scraping just a little bit, and it looks like up top we are already green flag racing out there. Smart by Corey to just punch it as soon as he's out there. John Miller hot on his heels. Lincoln Russell and Craig Ream is as you were. Kent Kruger makes up one position from that get-go. A little bit further back, it's pretty much as you were, single file into the first turn. As for the GT4s in the back here, I do not see Matthew on track. It appears he failed to grid with us, so that's Roman Bykoff right from the get-go. Jacob is yet to take turn 1. Back up top, it's Corey Mitchell, who continues to ride this beautiful start that he's had. Tyler P.R. Richards retains 5th position, although Kent Kruger having a storming start. John Miller is a car that's gotten turned around. He's at the back of the pack. Oh, and Craig Ream has an issue back there. Turning off of the back straight, it looks like, and he's going to lose a ton of positions. He's down to 12th, is that 13th, I think it is, and he gets turned again. And he is having a dismal start to this race. This lap 1 has been terrible for him. Back up top, Kent Kruger can see the top 2 just ahead of him. He's in the top podium positions. He's got Tyler P.R. Richards, though, just behind him. Michael McCoy making up 3 from the get-go, getting tagged from behind from Dustin Burkhalter. He's falling down the positions. I don't know if that's going to be it for him. He seems to have parked it. I don't know what has happened to Michael there, but he is not continuing on. Meanwhile, Roman Bykov in the chorus machine is just having a fantastic race. Got a good jump from the beginning, avoiding all of the chaos of the hairpin, which I think tomorrow everybody should remind themselves to take it very, very easy through the hairpin and give each other lots of room, although the instinct is to want to punch it immediately out of there. Is technically legal. That's Kenneth Mueller stuck behind him there. Tyler Pierre Richards now with the fastest lap of the race, hunting down Ken Kruger ahead. He's about half second faster than anybody else out there. Oh, we have a couple accidents out here on course. Oh, and he's spinning it onto the back straight there. We got one from Vincent Woodnick bring here. Down into turn one. Oh, right into the wall, and that's not a fun one to have. Roman Bykov at the top of the grid for the GT4 has had his own. We were just watching him a moment ago as he come around pretty much the penultimate turn into the hairpin. What happens here? It says people are crashing there when they are just fine. Back up top, we had some racing there for a moment as Lincoln Russell was making his move on Corey Mitchell. Everybody's saying slower lap times of 1:18s now. Very interesting as they start to battle with each other, losing time all over the grid. It's okay, because not a lot of green lap times behind them. Oh! Excuse me, folks, we were doing some software stuff. I'm hearing some banging out there. It looks like some elbows are out already. It's a nice little pack of GTEs here, led by Paul Simmons Ochoa, who gets really wide on that one and pushes Joseph Mayer a little bit wide. He's not going to get a good exit from that, and they're all going to drag race down to turn one. Take a look with Craig Ream there, who is in the middle of this fight. He's on the outside of turn one, and he is last to drop the anchor. Surely that was a late braking by Craig Ream. Roman Bykov here, you can see, has taken over the lead of the GT4 class. And it's just sorry, that's Roman. I'm sorry, I got my car liveries mixed up there for a moment. And this is Jacob's black GT4 Cayman that he is bringing around now. See, Roman is just about 4 seconds up the road for Jacob here. Corey Mitchell now having to deal with some of this GT4 traffic already. Having to compromise his line onto the back straight here. That's going to give Lincoln, oh, a wonderful jump from the back, but he's not going to have enough on this straight. Behind him is Ken Kruger, still in third position, watching that battle go down and fending off one of his own from behind. This is Tyler Pierre Richards watching the top three ahead of him. Tags the wall just a little bit there. I wonder if Lincoln has any extra pace here in hand that he's holding back a little bit. And that is Jacob heading ahead of them, which will compromise this turn out again slightly. It's going to mess with Kent Kruger most of all. Craig Ream has gotten, beyond this pack as Paul Simmons Ochoa has a big wiggle coming around that super left there. And it looks like Joseph's going to have him on the inside. Paul has another big wiggle, and that might let Michael Bond into this fight. They're going to drag race down the back straight. Let's see if Michael is brave with that anchor. He isn't. Oh, goodness, is Joseph out breaks himself? He does well to whip it around and get back to the track ASAP. He just missed the brakes and decided to, I guess that's better than sending it into the wall there. Craig Ream now catching up to Michael Kulliga ahead, who is 4 seconds off the pace of Troy Banks. Craig is very brave on the brakes here, but he's also a very respectful racer. I raced against him for a whopping 1 lap before he got by me, and I have to say he was very respectful and knew he had time in hand, just waited for his moment. Troy Banks coming up to this pack of cars ahead of him. A whole lot of compromised lines through there, so that will let Troy into this battle. I wonder if this GT4 sees him. He's getting swamped from all sides by them. And the GTE's trying to get past them, and that has separated them out a little bit and brought Adam Baltutis into, Bjorn Benches into Troy's hands possibly here. He's getting a much better line than Bjorn is. Troy Banks getting a little bit of a slipstream down this pit straight here. He's got to go to the inside. He thinks better of it and brakes very early. I think he definitely could have had Bjorn there if he wanted to. Bjorn probably won't fight him too hard. Doesn't want to destroy anybody's race, especially his own. There's Roman Bykov holding on to the GT4 lead at the moment. Oh, excuse me. Thought we were getting a little tight up top. As we come across the line for lap 10 here. Just about 12 minutes into this race. Ken Kruger giving everybody the flashies down the straight. John Miller coming across with 1:16.8, fastest lap for him out on track. Top four, still running just as they were. It's John Miller with Steven Martinez just ahead of him. Oh, and he tries to be very late on the anchor here. Maybe those flashes were to let him know he was going for it. Look out, Steven, as John pulls off a fantastic move on the inside. Michael Bond has made his way past Paul Simmons and Joe. Oh, and is that Joseph? Who is that? Troy Banks that just had a bit of a slip up there and has let Michael and Paul by as he messed up that hairpin going after Bjorn. And Jacob's GT4 on the left there. Paul does not look like he has complete control of the rear end of that Beamer, and I think it's costing him some time. He goes to get on the power again. It looks a little squirrely for him. Something wrong with that differential and suspension setting. That's a lapped. That's the lapped car there of Mr. Mueller, Kenneth Mueller, who's getting past. Also is Roman Bykov in the middle of that, and Troy Banks stuck behind for the moment, not enjoying that behind the GT4 class. He's just got to be focused on this exit to try to get back up there to them. Dustin Burkhalter is back there battling with Joseph Mayer, who must have had an issue and spun out. Oh, Craig, is that what I saw? A Craig Ream crash, which is fairly rare. Oh, and very, very late on the brakes there, and he's to the pits with that one. That was a tough hit into the wall. Corey Mitchell still leading this race, followed by Lincoln Russell, Kent Kruger, Tyler Pierre Richards in fourth, John D. Miller in fifth, Steven Martinez, Richard Swindells, Eric Kuliga in eighth, Adam Baltudis, and Bjorn Benches is the final top 10 runner out there. Top three are just so tight in there. Kent's pushing that rear end of Lincoln's around so that he gets that turn done with. Kent getting a little squirrely out of that hairpin doesn't quite get the traction necessary. Lincoln getting a sweet slipstream down. It's only a tenth between them now. Corey puts his car right in the middle lane to fend off any sort of lunge in either direction. Tyler Pierre Richards right on the heels of Ken now. And that's allowed John Miller actually to creep up there, who's been putting in great lap times out there. His best was the 1:16.4. 16.8. You look at 16.7 and an 18.5. Oh, and that's Ken Kruger turned all around to the 3, 4, 5 places. Get all smashed up there. Tyler seems to have come out best. I think Kent might have just spun that on his own. Kent's down to 6th at the moment. Definitely has some severe damage. John Miller also gets by. Still in 5th, though, as Steven Martinez is able to take that position back from John. Ken Kruger into the pit lane, so is John Miller, so is Tyler Pierre Richards. They are going to get their pit stops out of the way now and take care of this damage at the same time. We said we would see them in about at least 20 minutes, and this is definitely long enough. 18, 19 minutes into the race is definitely long enough for them to fill up. Battle for the lead still going at it. Steven Martinez here up to 3rd position at the moment, pushing these GT4s all over the track. Andrew Rasmussen there up to 2nd position, just chugging away. He is actually not racing that other GT4 car. Oh, as Roman Bykov has lost the lead to this race. Andrew taking a little bit of damage there. Jacob has found himself in top spot. Here is Roman coming across in 4th. Take a quick peek at those pit times. Tyler Pierre Richards in there for 13.9 seconds. Opposed to Ken Kruger's 7.4. Or Vincent Woods 6.5. Mason definitely needs to visit the pits kind of soon there, as you can see the state of his automobile. Troy really having a few issues out there, pushing it a little bit too hard, that is losing him some positions. He's in 11th at the moment, which is 5 better than his starting place. Joseph Mayer up 9. Michael Bond up 13 positions from his 20th starting place. Well done, Michael. Bjorn has climbed 11 up there, very impressive. And just ahead of him, Ed Beltude is coming down the pit straight here across the start-finish line. Up 7 positions, Steven Martinez into the pits, Eric Kulliga into the pits. Both Steven and Eric just over a second there as they're going to come out of the pit lane. Let's see where the 2 of them are. Joseph, he's come in as well. Corey has gotten his 1 second gap over Lincoln Russell there. As you can see, it was quite a longer gap. Down to 0.7 on the pit straight. This is probably going to be won or lost in the pits here. There's John Miller trying to make that move. It's not. Is it for position? Yes, that's Michael Bond there. Almost went wide into the wall after that pit straight. It's a very difficult move, but John knew that he had made it once, he could make it again. Now Michael's got to worry about Dustin Burkhalter half a second behind. Oh, getting stuck in some GT4 traffic here. Dustin can push right onto the apex. So 23 minutes down so far. Stephen Liston with a 55-second pit stop. Maybe he got caught speeding or getting some tires in there. Michael Culligan with an 8.7. Joseph Mayer 6.9. Kent Kruger has been in there for... What is going on with Kent Kruger's race? That was unfortunate. Maybe he had spun it again. Seems to have a clean car here. Oh, goodness gracious. And who was that there? It looked like Michael Kulliga, who was sitting right on the racing line into the first turn. And there comes Kent Kruger, and that is why he's in the pits. Oh, goodness. That was a rough hit. Not to be taken lightly, and it wasn't, as he sits in there through his long repair time that I'm sure he has, because he's already used that quick repair earlier after that spin. And John Miller crashed as well. Into the same spot, just a little dink into the wall there. Should be able to ride that one off. Back in the GT4s. Let's go live with you here, folks. Back in the GT4s. Back in the GT4s. Back in the USSR. That's Steven Martinez getting by Jacob. Jacob with a nice 10-second gap over Brian Zinn. Currently sitting in second place. Andrew Rasmussen down to third. These guys behind him, though, are not going to be happy about all of that. That's a lap car in front of this train. And that's Tyler Pierre Richards, who is quickly followed by Michael Bond. And then your GT4 leader as well. Michael Bond and Vincent Wood in the very back there. Tyler giving Michael all the lights here. No, sorry, Mr. Johnson. Adam Baltudis enters the pits for his stop. He's in there for 8 seconds flat, heads back out. Michael Bond enters the pit lane. That is Michael Johnson in the front here. Battle for the lead keeps going on here as we almost took 30 minutes down, and neither has decided to pit. I think Corey is going to try to push this as long as possible because, I mean, Lincoln is staying with him. It's obvious that he has the speed, so he might as well deny him any possibility of putting in a couple good laps and overcutting him on the pit stops there. Corey generally likes to get those laps in with low fuel, and he will try to push it pretty far generally if his race allows. Richard Swindell's just behind Eric Culligut in the GT4 there. And Joseph Mayer still on the heels of Michael Bond. I could have sworn I saw Michael go to the pit stop. Pits in the last lap, but that is okay. Oh, as we see a GT4 there, I believe that was, oh wow, Matthew did make it on track. Sorry, Matthew, I saw you didn't make the first couple laps, and oh, he is just right in the way here. Hopefully he does not get T-boned. This is oh, that was so lucky to have nobody coming around during that time. That was a very suspect maneuver. Back up top. It's really great to see things are a lot cleaner this go around tonight. And the MX-5s, I think things got a little hairy there as Corey takes to the inside to try to get around the GT4 leader there of Jacob Edding. Sorry, Jacob. I apologize once again. Oh, Lincoln getting a little wide, not able to stay with Corey there. He makes it a second gap. It's always so hard to tell what the mood is in the lobby and what it is from the outside. I think the level of intensity last night was like something we hadn't seen in quite a while. Here's Mason Smotherman coming around to this left-hander. Oh, and he just tags the wall there, and that's going to turn his car around. And thank God for that paint job, because it's a little sorry looking at the moment. Paul Simpson show it doesn't really crash, but he does get a little almost out of shape. Oh, and Jacob had an issue as well once these two got out of there. Maybe it was just coming around the hairpin that it seems to think people going slow is an accident, as it seems to have done this time. Lincoln is in the pits, so he decided to get himself some clean air, although he will come out probably in some form of traffic depending on who has pit and who has not. That leaves Corey up top. Kent Kruger still sitting there. He's going through the footage. He's getting the penalty book out. Lincoln Russell with a 7.4 second pit stop on the lighter side that we've seen. Some guys dipping down, like Troy Banks into 5.1 is the shortest, and Tyler Pierre Richards of 13.9 is the longest, so definitely on the shorter end of that anyways. Here he comes out, still in second position as you would expect, as John Miller actually just gets ahead of him there. And John Miller has, of course, pitted. I thought he, that would be pretty impressive if he had, and he has. He did it when he was following third and fourth. And he was putting in some good lap times before that. He must be putting in some decent lap times since. And Lincoln and Corey squabbling has let him jump ahead and do an undercut for second place. That could very well put him into the lead of the race. He was so far ahead of Lincoln there that that could easily put him into the lead. He did shave off an extra second on his pit stop as well. We'll see what happens with Corey. He elects to go around yet another time. Lincoln Russell just behind him there. Richard Swindell's now climbing all over Eric Kulliga's back. Oh, and he gets very wide on that one. Misses the apex completely. He was confused about the blinking GT4 behind him of Andrew Rasmussen. Tyler is currently 11 seconds, 12 seconds off of Lincoln ahead. That's the Corvette of Troy Banks having to get out of the way of Tyler there. Corey's into the pit lane. He comes in next to Bjorn Benches. Is that Adam Baltudis? No, that is Bjorn Benches there. That is Craig Ream with him. Corey shaving off as much time as possible going through the inside of the pit lane. Really, every foot counts out there. Let's take a look at that pit time. It seemed short. It was a 6.1. We're going to watch John Miller here. Coming down the pits, it's not going to be enough, it looks like, to beat Corey. He's still 6.43 seconds. He's going to come out about 2.5 seconds behind Corey here, maybe a second and a half. He sees him take off in the distance. Lincoln Russell 1.7 behind John here. Did not get to do those laps that he was hoping to do the undercut or overcut. No matter what he was going for. He's getting all mixed up with Jacob there as well. 1.3 up to the leader. Jacob still holding on to that 10-second gap back to Brian Zinn here. He's just got to bring it home with 5 minutes on the clock. Andrew Rasmussen is in third position. Adam Baltudis is still sitting in the pits. I wonder what happened to him. And he's been there for 3.5 minutes now. That's very unfortunate for his race. Roman Bykov, unfortunately, back down to fourth in the standings. Luckily, there isn't a great deal in points between fourth and first. So if you keep showing up, keep putting in great times, you will be up there at the end of the season. Give us another nail biter like we had last season. We had so many close races just because of how we scored. I love it. A close championship. Just keep showing up. And that's Sean Miller just shaving off that lead. That's 0.7 on Corey this past lap. And he wasn't able to put in the laps for the undercut, but he may just take it away from Corey the old-fashioned way here. He's very late with the anchor on this straight here, so we'll see what he wants to do. He's 0.3 behind at the moment, riding on board with him. Maybe he will lull Corey to sleep and just make it look like he's never going to go for a move and then go for it on one of those back straights. Oh, there's a big pile up of the GT4s there. That looks like Mason Smotherman? No, that's Michael. That's neither. Oh, it's Matthew Smotherman. Those guys just ahead of them there. Here's John Miller trying to make that move. He goes to the outside. Corey makes his intentions known. Oh! And it's all around as that's Roman Bykov getting turned around from 4th place there. It was all so hairy. That's John Miller going for a move that was just inopportune time, I guess. Oh, and that brings Lincoln Russell up to 2nd place on the back straight here. Corey's down to 3rd in the space of 1 lap. It all sort of began out of a little cluster coming out of the hairpin right here last lap. As Matthews GT4 was just in the way. A minute and a half to race here, so we should have 2 more minutes of racing. Sorry, 2 more laps of racing here at Long Beach with our GTEs and GT4s. Again, don't forget to check us out on Thursday. We're doing the GT1s, our fastest cars of the season, matched up with our GT3s. So that will be very fun. We know Corey is very, very quick in those. So is John Miller. We've seen some great racing over the seasons between those two, especially in the GT1 class. A very difficult racetrack for some of these guys out there, like Michael Kulliga here, who got turned around. And with these concrete walls, it is difficult to right yourself and get back into this race. Here's Craig Ream down in 15th, who had that very early incident. About to lap the came-in leader of Jacob. We see Roman Bykov in the background coming into the pits again. Brian Zinn running in 2nd position, doing very well. Just watching his mirrors, avoiding all of the traffic, which is the name of the game this evening. Kenneth here missing his bonnet, but what you gonna do? Who needs it? Andrew Rasmussen in the background there. Currently 3rd. Saw Roman Bykov was in 4th. Matthew Smotherman down in 5th after having qualified over a 2nd to 1st. Oh, and that's Mason having a bit of a spin there. Coming down the pit straight here. John Miller is going to win it. Lincoln Russell comes in 2nd. Corey Mitchell in 3rd. Tyler Pierre Richards crosses the line for 4th. Vincent crosses for 5th. Oh, and there's a great deal of crashing going on already out there. Across the start-finish line, Jacob comes to take the first GT4 win of the season. Congratulations and welcome, Jacob. be sure, I hope everybody told you to show up for your podium picture so you can get up and look good this week. And it looks like everyone has come across the line for the final time. So we are going to run you down your results real quick for the race if it allows us. Here for the GTE class. Let's see. Points, no points. Oh, you failed me. It won't give me my point count. Anyways, here we have Corey Mitchell. This is qualifying results. We want the race results, sir. And it gives us points, but we have race results. John Miller takes the win out there with 70 points. 1.2 behind him was Lincoln Russell. Corey Mitchell fills out the top 3 podium positions. Tyler Pierre Richards comes 4th. Vincent Wood in 5th. Steven Martinez, Eric Culliga, Richard Swindells, Bjorn Benches, and Joseph Mayer rounds out the top 10, followed by Dustin Burkhalter, Paul Simmons Ochoa, Troy Banks, Michael Bond, Michael Culliga in 15th, Craig Green, Kenneth Mueller, Adam Baltudis. Oh goodness, such a large, awesome field to have this evening. Thank you all so much for joining us. In the GT4s, we got Jacob, who took it home for that first win of the season. Brian Zinn in 2nd place, and Andrew Rasmussen rounds out the top 3. Roman Bykoff, Matthew Smotherman, and Mason Smotherman are the last ones to join us. I have not figured out the point standings yet, so if you did not run, you did not get any points. But this will be updated for next week, so we can keep rolling on this to see what the point standings are. Oops, didn't want that. As always, a little bit of housekeeping. Make sure you never like my video. Always hit that thumbs down. Never subscribe. Make sure that you hit that little bell an even number of times and leave me all sorts of nasty comments in the comment section below. Will see you on Thursday with the GT3, GT1, our fastest night of the week, to wrap up our time here at Long Beach. Thanks for joining us, everyone. See you on Thursday.